If you want to see how I went from this to this, keep watching. First, I'm going to start out with an eye primer. This one's by Urban Decay. I don't want you worrying about trying to remember. I'm going to put everything in the description, so it'll be right there for you. If you're new to wearing eye primers, it's important to know that these are really great because they keep your makeup from creasing up and they hold it in place a lot longer. And they reduce oils on the lid. Then I'm going to use the Thank Me Later primer on the rest of my face. I'm really not going to wear any foundation today. And since this has a little bit of color, it's going to kind of even out my skin tone right in the middle where I need it the most. I like primers because they minimize your pores and they fill in your fine lines and wrinkles. And most of them have a little tiny bit of blurring effect. As an added bonus, the one that I'm using also has SPF, so it starts me off with a layer of SPF protection for the day. Since I have short hair, I go ahead and pull that SPF protection out to my ears, and that way I don't forget. When I was at CVS, I picked up this gel lip liner by LA Colors. It's in the color nude and it's long lasting. So I'm just lining my lips with that. And it's very moisturizing, so covering my whole lip is not going to dry me out. Then I'm going to add just a small amount of nude color right there in the middle. I like to do it this way because it gives my lips the illusion of being a little bit bigger than they normally are. And I'm covering that with a clear lip plumper by City Beauty. And I'm just checking to see if this blush is going to go with my lips. And I always love to swirl my brush in the blush and then apply it to my wrist to see how dark it's going to be before I go to my face with it. And then I just sweep it across the cheekbones in a U shape. And I frequently will do this, take some of my blush and just use it as a contour powder, just to add a little warmth on my forehead. And also, if you just have that color on your cheeks and nowhere else on your face, it kind of looks out of place. Onto my cream contour, this is in the color Ash. And I just apply a small amount underneath my cheekbone and then just use the warmth of my fingers to blend it. Of course, you can blend with your brush. You can do it however you like. Then I'll use that same color and go ahead and do a quick contour in my nose. I like the cream contours better. They're easier to manipulate. Powder doesn't go all over your face. It just goes where you want it to. They blend seamlessly and they don't just look like they're sitting on top of the face like dirt. In general, I think cream makeup is very simple and easy to work with. The only problem is when you live in a very hot climate. So if you're wearing a lot of cream makeup, you need a setting powder that's specifically designed for whatever brand you're wearing. Otherwise, you could be in for a major oil slick in the middle of summer. I like to highlight my nose near the top so that it doesn't make my nose look any longer. And also, by highlighting it up there, it's going to draw attention to my eyes. I'm trying some new cream shadows out today, and I forgot to film the first eye. Thank goodness I got the second one. So I just swirled my finger around in the little pot and then applied some to my lid. I usually just tap it in place, and then I'll grab my eyeshadow brush and give it a blend. The ones I'm trying are by Lauren Brooke Cosmetics, and they're very, very creamy. You can put them on very sheer, or you can build up the color. And after wearing them for the first time, I say they really need to go on sheer. The more sheer, the better. They look absolutely gorgeous on my older eyelid. I'm wearing the Plum Fairy, which is a matte. And if you don't have a hooded eye, then I need to explain why I take my eyeshadow up so high. It's because when I relax my eyes and I look straight ahead, if I don't take it up high enough, then you won't see any color at all. So I kind of am going back and forth and tapping in a little extra color, and I want it to be slightly more dramatic today too. I love my natural everyday looks, but I also like to go a little bit more dramatic sometimes. When I'm using a brush, I like to stamp the color where I want it, and then take a look at it back in the mirror. Make sure that you can actually see it when my eyes are relaxed. I'll stamp in a little bit more until I get the look that I'm going for. And then once I get it to where I can look directly ahead in the mirror and still see some color, then I know I've got the right thing, and I'll go ahead and use my bigger brush and blend. I use the fluffy eyeshadow brush to blend, and then the smaller one to pack that color in. I love cream shadows. Unfortunately, they are not all equal. Some cream shadows can make older eyes look really terrible. This is definitely not one of them though. Bear with me, my looks always come together pretty much at the last minute. And I like to blend my eyeshadow up a little bit here because it gives me a little bit of a lifted look when I'm all done. It's very light. If you didn't know I had done it, you would have no idea that it was there. And then I noticed that that was creasing up a little bit on my lid, so I just used my powder blush and tapped it over to hold it in place. Normally I would do that with eyeshadow, but in this case it just was such a pretty color I went with it. And I'm grabbing some of that copper color. It's really, really gorgeous, and I'm going to tap it in the inner part of my eye to draw some attention there. It wasn't going on as bright as I wanted it to, so I grabbed my brush and sprayed it with a little bit of setting spray. Then I dipped it back in my eyeshadow, and then when I apply it, it's much more bright and brilliant. And it also helps it stay in place because it's a setting spray. And if you're not familiar, setting spray is kind of like hairspray for the face. And it's wonderful stuff, especially if you're going to have a special event and you don't want your makeup to move at all. So I'm just adding a little color and blending as I go, and then spraying a little bit of that setting spray to blend out things and make them look just as good as I can, and also set that makeup in place. Sometimes I like to use that old trick to make my eyes look bigger by using a white eyeliner on my bottom waterline. If you find that it's too harsh, you can also use a nude. I'm applying a small amount of that cream shadow underneath my eyes. I rarely use eyeliner under my eyes, it's just too harsh. Then I'm going to go back into my very dirty palette and set that in place with some powder eyeshadow. And I have to confess, I was just playing in the makeup today. I had plenty of time, nobody was home, it was just the perfect day for playing around. Normally I would not take this long. My natural looks are my go-to day-to-day looks. And then when I want to do something a little extra or I need to feel a little better for some reason, I go for a little bit of a heavier makeup look. And in general, if I'm going to play anything up, it's going to be my eyes, my contour, or my lips, or maybe all three. I always have my cellar water and Q-tips nearby to clean things up. And since I'm not super careful about applying eyeshadow, I just wait until the end. It's so much easier for me. And then I just clean it up. Now for hooded eye, you actually want to scoop it out a little bit there. See how I scooped it out? It's like a concave shape. I do it that way because when I relax my eye and I look straight ahead, everything is lifted then instead of dragging my eye down. So if you have hooded eyes, you have to give this a try. And we're not going to leave that one straight, harsh line. We're going to mellow that out, but that's the last step that I do. Next, I'm going on to eyebrows, and I've decided to use a waterproof, smudge-proof eyebrow pencil. And I'm going to go with a really bold brow today. It's not for everyone, but it's going to give you an idea of what you can actually do with your brows and how you can absolutely change your face with the shape and size of your eyebrow. And that's one of the things that I love about makeup is that you can take this ordinary face and if you feel like it, you can transform it into something completely different. Oh, I always wanted those Brooke Shields eyebrows. I thought those gorgeous, big, bold eyebrows were so beautiful. I think Brooke Shields is beautiful, but I remember being a kid and thinking, oh my gosh, her mom won't let her pluck her eyebrows? But you know who still has gorgeous eyebrows? Brooke Shields. So like all moms, her mom knew a thing or two. Now I'm going to fade into the background and let you watch the rest of this. Now that I've got the shape the way I want, I'm going to use an eyebrow mascara. And this will pick up any of those little tiny hairs that I have naturally, and it'll add color and definition to my brow. And even though it's not a natural looking brow, it will make it look more natural. And eyebrow mascaras give your eyebrows a little bit of hold also. So when you swoop them up, it may only make part of your eyebrow look really natural, but it can really help accentuate the look. It looks like I missed a little spot there, so I'm just going to fill that in. We're doing a very light lash look because at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how I apply mascara lashes. Those are the lashes that go underneath your natural lashes. They're very lightweight and super, super fun. I'm wanting a little bit more drama today, so I'm going to clean up under my eyebrow with a little bit of concealer. This can be very light or very dramatic. And you can also use this to actually give your eye a little lift. If your concealer is too thick or it begins drying, you can spray your brush with a little bit of setting spray and then go back in and keep working. The setting spray does two things. It holds things in place, but it also will sheer things out. Now, do you remember back to the beginning when I said I wasn't going to wear foundation and I didn't? But now I'm going to lighten up my inner eye and that outer area right there and lift it up with a little concealer mixed with my e.l.f. Putty Primer. And then I'm going to finger blend right there. Now, I'm going to overlap where that eyeshadow is so that it's a nice soft look. I mix about 3 parts Putty Primer to 1 part concealer for this. And basically all we're doing is making our own highlighter. And then you can use that highlighter as a face brightener or to kind of plump out any wrinkles on your face. Light brings things forward and darkness takes them back. So there's not much we can really do about wrinkles, but we can add a little highlighter to them and it kind of looks like they're plumped up. And then we're going to go back and do this other eye. I just kind of swoop it up toward my temple and then pat it in and then overlap that eyeshadow just a tad bit. And I love making my own highlighter because it's very inexpensive and it just looks like skin. It doesn't look like a bunch of cakey makeup. Then a little swoop up right there to give a little lifted cheekbone. Just adds a little brightening. And then we're going to do some wispy lashes. These are called mascara and they're by Kiss. I'm using parts of a starter kit that I purchased and then I bought extra lash wisps. The tool comes with the starter kit. So you start out with the bond side, which is the black one, and you just sweep it under your lashes. If you want a really natural look, you don't want to put any mascara on before. Just apply the mascara bond, that's all you need. Then we're going to grab one of these wisps, and I'm using them in the medium, but I've got small, medium, and large here. You just want to grab one with your little tool, and you want to do it right up next to the band. Then switch it around and make sure that it's actually going to go underneath your lashes and be shaped the same way that your natural lashes are. Then you're going to place it underneath your lash at the base of your lash. It does not touch your waterline. I like to start on the outside of my eye and work my way in. And today I'm going to use 3 of these wisps, but I've often used 2 and they look just beautiful. So they just go side by side, they don't overlap, and then I just use my finger to push up on that to make sure that it's adhered to my lashes. And there's the difference between both eyes. Then you can squeeze them together with the tool or with your fingers just to make sure that everything's bonded. And then once that's done, you're going to flip that wand over that you had to begin with, and you're going to apply the sealer. The sealer just glides over your lashes and prevents your top lashes from sticking to your bottom lashes. And then we'll do the other eye. First, we use the Bond, which is in black. Then, starting at the same place that we did on the other eye, we're going to place the lash under. Remember, it does not touch the waterline. It goes at the base of the lash. And the lash bond is really, really sticky, so it just clings there, and then you use your finger and poke it up. Using the sealer to make sure that all the glue is not sticky. And then in a moment, I'm going to show you up underneath so that you can see exactly how they look. Here's from the front, but now look under there. They're pretty much undetectable unless you knew they were there. And since I want a little bit more drama today, I'm going to apply a light coat of mascara. Be sure to tap the description for products. If you don't know how to do that and you're on a mobile phone, you want to touch those 3 sideways little dots, and then you'll see the description. Now with the mascara on and everything, they did kind of touch my glasses. So if you're a glasses wearer, you might want to go with a small set instead of the medium. But dang it, look at that. Gorgeous. Follow for more.